The fifth chapter, Futile Pain of Love. The following story can be a romantic or familial one, or even a criminal or detective one. Yet it can be a funnier story or fit for children. Whatever it is, it was a big problem for the Queen. This lady is Princess Diana from the Spencer family, who had close relations with the royal family. This man is Prince Charles, the son of the Queen, the next Crown Prince of England, the heir of the crown and the throne. The romantic relation of these two started in 1977. From 1980, Charles pondered carefully about getting married with this lady. To see the lady favored by his son, the Queen invited Diana to a royal party. The Queen approved Diana. Therefore, on 29th of July 1981, in this church, St. Paul's Cathedral, they got married. Their marriage was widely billed as a fairy-style wedding. Diana's wedding dress valued at £9,000 and had a 25-foot train. After some years of living together and having 2 children, Diana started a very friendly relation with James Hewitt. And Charles also took up with his ex-beloved Camilla Parker Bowles and had appointments with her again. Since 1992, these relations were let out of the bag. Even the then Premier John Major announced that these two intended to separate in a friendly manner. Ultimately, the royal love failed. They divorced in 1997 after 5 years of conflict. After this separation, the royal family started to oppose Diana. Particularly right after the separation, when Diana had met Dodi Fayed, and it seemed she was going to marry him. On 30th of August 1997, Diana went to Paris from Sardinia in a private jet. "20 minutes after the midnight, after a short stay in Paris, they set out to travel to London in a black Mercedes. They had hired the car not to grab the attention of the paparazzi. 12:23 a.m., just 3 minutes after their departure, the news broke out that they had a horrible accident. Dodi died on the spot. They took Diana out of the car. She was breathing and murmuring something. 'Oh my God, leave me alone.' 2 hours after the accident, 2:06 a.m., Diana was taken to the hospital. The doctor announced that she had died at 4 a.m. Elizabeth appeared on the TV screens and read a notification of condolence. Her corpse was buried with the attendance of many people at her funeral. However, doubts and rumors around this event remained. The official media called these rumors and doubts as illusions of conspiracy, but many believe that this event would not have happened if Dodi had used his car to take Diana to London. Probably, the black Mercedes had been in connection with the English intelligence services. Richard Tomlinson, the ex-member of MI6, announced that Diana had been under the surveillance of MI6 agents. However, he ate all his words sometime later and said his memory may have failed to help him remember well. Research later showed that the Mercedes carrying Diana and Dodi had a collision with a white Fiat. However, the French police were unable to find any traces of the white Fiat. Mohammed Al-Fayed, Dodi's father, had hired some people and asked them to conduct a research on the case, and later said that they could find out that the white Fiat belonged to a photographer named James Henderson, who hid his identity in the disguise of a photographer. He was an agent of MI6. Henderson had sold his car a few months after this event. The police interrogated Henderson and finally reached the conclusion that he was not guilty. However, 3 years later, in May 2000, Henderson's body was found in a black BMW in jungles in southern France, while the doors of the car were locked and there was no trace of the keys. Official reports announced that Henderson had committed a suicide and thus his case was closed. While his family rejected the claim made by the police and said that he had recently found a new job, and he had been very energetic and the place of his death was 400 miles away from his house, something which was illogical for a suicide. Another dubious point about Diana and Dodi's death is that no footage from the CCTV cameras is available. 10 cameras existed in the area of the crash, but none recorded any picture of the incident. The agents announced that those cameras were under the control of a company and did not work that time of the night, and therefore no footage was recorded. Their justification satisfied nobody, since CCTV cameras record their footage automatically and non-stop. But what was this opposition with Diana for? One possibility was that Diana had got pregnant by Dodi, and the next crown prince of England would have half-brothers and sisters from a Muslim father, something which was unbearable and unprecedented for the royal family. England is a country where, though there is no official religion, but the Queen is the head of the Church of England. Strict rules are set for the people belonging to the royal family to conform to the Church of England if they want to take up the throne. The Queen and her royal family's roles in making many coups and wars have been rejected. But this familial incident grabbed the attention of many people to the royal family of England. However, the courts of England announced that the research shows that the death and car crash of Diana and her fiancé had been unintentional and there was no conspiracy. The verdict by the court has not convinced much of the public opinions. The Queen is going to keep her authority. And this struggle to keep full authority has brought about some doubts in public points of view. In 2007, the BBC broadcast a documentary, 1 Year with the Queen, in which an episode was shown on the Queen's discussion with someone. The managers of the BBC apologized to Her Excellency immediately. In the same year, despite the huge Muslim rallies against Salman Rushdie, the Queen knighted him. And 1 year later, Daily Mail announced that the royal family intended to open a branch of Freemasonry in the Buckingham Palace, while the Queen's spokesman declared that the Queen had issued no official permission on that. In 2012, some pictures of a male member of the royal family were released which contained nudity. New media dared to release the pictures for the fear that the royal family might sue them. In spite of these instances, the constant claim of the English statesmen and official media is that the kingdom is an emblematic unit in England and has no power. They say that it is the governments and parliaments who make basic decisions on wars and coups. Probably it was the government and the parliament who decided about the death of Princess Diana. Yet, on paper, where the rules are written, what is the power of the Queen?